Phoenix firefighters are bound by many threads, some longer than others, some very colorful, all very strong. We share a common purpose. We share a commitment to our community and the people who call it home. We share the fight.
To be around people who really made a commitment to put their own lives second and to protect the city, to protect its people, to protect its assets and buildings by being willing every day to put their lives on the line, and not just as a cliche, but as a real deal, was an amazing thing to me. And so I was really impressed to get to know a lot of firefighters and the kind of people who have made that kind of decision to, every day they go to work, understand that the job would require, if necessary, that they put themselves in harm's way to protect me and to protect my family and my friends and my neighbors and my constituents. I think that's a rare kind of individual.
We all followed our own paths to this calling, but each of us is proud of what we do every day. And all of us know that we are linked by something greater, something that started long before we put on this uniform.
To know where you're going, you have to know where you've been. And new recruits today, they're joining an operation that has a tremendous amount of history, a lot of pride and a lot of work that had gone into accomplishing the things that the new recruit is enjoying today. And I think that it's important that they know not only where we came from, but how we got here.
And in the same way, those of us who are here now are only borrowing the legacy and richness of what is our heritage. It's really the gift that we give to those who come behind us. And we have to help people who come behind us understand that they are a part of that continuum.
Protecting that history, better yet, ensuring the future that history provides, has been the job of our strongest, most enduring thread, our union.
The union is there to take care of those that came before you. And we want to take care of you while you're here. And then we want to take care of you when you leave. And then you got to remember to take care of those that come after you. And that was handed down to me, and I've handed it down to a couple generations of firefighters, and I hear that theme over and over again. And I think that's important for young guys on the job to remember that.
We know we cannot take for granted what we have today. We have the best training. We have the best equipment. We have the best environment in which to work. But it wasn't always that way.
It's a strange thing. I mean, they tell us that firefighting is a very dangerous profession. But really, I mean, from my standpoint, I mean, we never even gave it a thought. I mean, it was just a job. And so we went into smoky buildings, and by the way, you know, we didn't have, back then, we didn't have any type of mask, protective, self-contained mask. I mean, we used a canister mask mostly, but most of us didn't even use canisters because if you get into a fire that had a lot of soot in it, it would clog up the filter, I mean, and then you couldn't breathe at all. So we, in fact, everyone called us smoke eaters back then, I mean, rather than firefighters, because we ate a lot of smoke.
My father was a firefighter. His starting pay was $300 a month. And then you had to go and buy your turnout gear yourself, which cost $80. And $80 was a big hit for those guys in that time.
We were trying to get a new law, pension law, and we were under at that particular time, they had what they call the State Firemen's Association, but it was made up primarily of volunteers. And they would write up a bill that they thought was what they wanted for as a pension, and then it was usually, since Phoenix is so close to the Capitol, I mean, it was usually our job to try to get it through the legislature. And we were never very successful.
I remember one initiative, I would have been 9 years old, and the Firefighters Union tried to get the voters to agree to pay firefighters a salary equal to that of laborers, construction laborers. So as labor salaries went up, firefighter salary would go up. The city came out against it, the mayor, the city manager, but they also engaged the banks and the business community and the Chamber of Commerce to oppose it. And people literally got letters from their mortgage company that if you supported this initiative, that your mortgage payment would go up.
These were not battles fought out of selfishness. We have always wanted our department to be the best it can be, because we know that in turn, it makes Phoenix a better place for everyone. Often that means the causes we take on are not our own.
The city of Phoenix had a major problem with homelessness. Firefighters, more than anybody except maybe the police, saw this problem on a regular basis. They'd do a run at 1 o'clock in the morning and find a mother and father and 2 kids out behind some store, rummaging through the garbage to get fed or to take care of the kids. They knew the kids didn't have any place to go. The firefighters actually started their own program around Christmas when they would go gather toys and things like that, and by themselves, the various stations would get on the trucks and go out and give things away to people. They'd give kids toys, they'd give parents blankets or food baskets or whatever it happened to be.
I think it's important that the firefighters as an organization be involved in charitable organizations, because their role within the city, within the cities, within the towns, etc., is a type of role that other people look up to because of the work they do and the way they do it. And therefore, by doing that, they're giving back to the communities that pay them the wages and obviously the fringe benefits that they get.
Today, when we look around, we see a multitude of fronts to cover. It's the role of our leaders, our fire chiefs, the executive board of Local 493, even the city council and city managers, to provide support for everything our firefighters do. Because it's our role as firefighters to respond to our citizens when called. We should do it all with a happy and generous heart, regardless of the time or type of call. We're responding to many arms, and just as it has throughout our history, our effectiveness to respond comes down to 4 main pieces, 4 legs to the table.
The 4 legs of the table are what allows us to provide the service delivery and take care of each other. That's political involvement, service delivery, labor management, and community involvement. And through those things, by having a focus on those 4 legs, that enables us to take care of those that came before us, those that are here and those that are coming. It's the way that we are able to influence the job that we're able to do. The way we're able to influence the equipment, the training, the resources for the fire department, and the resources for the state and the city when it comes to wages and hours and working conditions, and the support that we get from the community.
And so those 4 legs make this solid table that's the foundation for our union, it's the foundation for the department, and to a great extent, it's the foundation for the community as a whole. And as long as people remember that and they pay attention to all 4 legs, we've got a tremendous organization and a tremendous foundation.
May our purpose, may our commitment, may our fight continue.
What you always have to fight is complacency. And complacency is what kills firefighters pretty often. And complacency is not just going to check an alarm sounding and taking the elevator to the 30th floor of a building without your turnouts or your SCBA, which is complacency. Complacency is losing sight of the fact of how we fit into this whole community, that we've got to do the politics, we've got to be involved in the community, we've got to be giving back, we've got to keep getting better at our trade and be the best at what we do so that our customers will be happy to pay for our expensive service.
probably the most important thing I say is get involved. To me, if you're a firefighter in Phoenix, or if you're a firefighter in the Valley, the local includes 5 cities, but we interact with all of them. I believe you have an obligation to get involved. You don't just take the job and the benefits and the pay and the opportunity for granted. There was a lot of history that got things to where they are today. You have an obligation to appreciate that and then make it better. We used to describe it as it's an ongoing circle. You take care of those people that are about to come on. You make it good so that people can get hired and get a good job. You take care of those people who are there today. And you take care of those who have already retired. And as long as that circle is never broken, then our union and our department will continue to be strong and to do well.